Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today doing a Master Duel Earthbound deck profile. So I'm really excited to do some for you guys because we just got all sorts of amazing Earthbound cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. This deck is super fun to be able to play to not only fusion summon, but synchro summon at the exact same time with Harmonic Synchro Fusion, which is a crazy powerful card. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell there so you can become part of Notification Squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like getting your name scratched in every single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Earthbound Prisoner, Groundskeeper. This card is definitely a 3-of in the build, and probably the best normal summon in the entire deck. And then if this card is normal or special summoned, you can special summon a level 5 or lower Earthbound monster from your deck or graveyard to your side of the field, getting you the exact monster you need on your side of the field. This card also has a powerful effect that Earthbound monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effect while there's a card in the field spell zone, which is an amazing ability to give you a little bit of protection. We then play 3 copies of Stone Sweeper. Stone Sweeper is an extremely powerful 3-of in the build that if there's a card in the field spell zone, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can also discard this card to add a level 3 or lower Fiend Tuner from your deck to your hand, which is a great ability to search out cards like your copy of Groundskeeper or also your copy of Vision Resonator, which is so cool about this card that it's not only an extender, but it's also a Rhoda for the deck. We then play 2 copies of Earthbound Prisoner, Linewalker. Linewalker is really good as a 2-of to be able to summon out for your copy of Groundskeeper's ability. As this card has the ability, if this card is normal or special summon, you can add an Earthbound Prison or a copy of Harmonic Synchro Fusion from your deck or graveyard to your hand, which is an amazing ability to get the exact card we need so we can go full combo. We then play 3 copies of Garbage Lord. I really love Garbage Lord in this deck because this card is just amazing in the build as a level 5 monster that we can summon at any time. This card, unlike all the other Cyber Dragon-ish like level 5s, has the ability that you can special summon this card from your hand by paying 2,000 life points, meaning even if you control a monster, you can special summon this card out to your side of the field. Plus, most importantly of all, it's a dark monster, which helps you out a lot in your combos to be able to summon out a bunch of cool cards that actually require dark monsters to summon them out, and this card is just really good overall to be able to play in the deck. I absolutely love this card in this build because it just can be summoned at any time by paying 2,000 life points. We then play 2 copies of Psy Reflector. Psy Reflector is really cool as a 2-of in the deck because this card has the ability, if this card is normal or special summon, you can add an Assault Mode Activate or a card that mentions it from your deck to your hand, which you're always searching out your copy of Assault Beast off this card's ability. This card also has a really nice effect that you can actually reveal an Assault Mode Activate in your hand and then target a monster in your graveyard that mentions it, which again is going to be your Assault Beast, and then special summon it. And if you do, increase its level by 1 to 4, which is a really cool ability to level modulate your card to get the exact level so that you can synchro summon, which is a really cool effect. We then play a single copy of Assault Beast. Assault Beast is definitely a 1-of in the build, and what you always search off your copy of your Psy Reflector, and you can discard this card to the graveyard to add Assault Mode Activate from your deck to your hand so you can go full combo with your Assault package in the build. We then play 2 copies of Vision Resonator. This card is a great extender in the build because it has the ability, if there's a level 5 or higher dark monster on the field, you can just special summon this card from your hand, and if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add Spell or Trap that mentions Red Dragon Archfiend from your deck to your hand, which we're only playing 1 target for it, and that's going to be our copy of Crimson Gaia, which is going to search our next copy of Vision Resonator, which is so cool about this combo. We then play a single copy of Earthbound Greater Linewalker. This card is great and actually allows us to play Earthbound Immortals in this deck. This card has the ability, if you control a synchro monster and have a synchro monster in the graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand, which meaning it's very easy to put this card out on your side of the field. And during your main phase, you can add an Earthbound Immortal from your deck or graveyard to your hand, and if an Earthbound Immortal monster is normal summoned while this monster is on the field, you can make your opponent's life points become 3,000, meaning it's super easy to OTK your opponent at that point depending on the Earthbound Immortal that you're playing. We then play, as my Earthbound Immortal of choice, I'm going to play a single copy of Chaka-Chalua, because Chaka-Chalua is my favorite Earthbound Immortal, and definitely comment down below what your favorite Earthbound Immortal is. You can basically play any one Earthbound Immortal that you want to play in this particular position, because it's searchable off your copy of Greater Linewalker, but Chaka-Chalua is my favorite, which is why I play this card in the build, and it actually does burn damage, which is amazing about this card, because you're already going to be summoning out with your copy of Greater Linewalker, so this card is just going to do basically 1200 points of burn damage to your opponent, which is amazing for this card to be able to do. I absolutely love playing Chaka-Chalua in this build, and definitely comment down below again what your favorite Earthbound Immortal is. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom's really cool as a 3-of in the build just to stop your opponent from touching the deck. We also play 3 copies of Maxi. Maxi is still a 3 in Master Duel, and it's absolutely crazy this card is still a 3 in Master Duel, because you get to draw a card every time your opponent special summons, and will lock your opponent down, so they're going to just stop what they're doing and pass back to us so we can OTK. So, that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of 1-for-1. 1-for-1 is a really good 1-of in the deck because it makes it super easy to get your copy of Groundskeeper out on your side of the field, because it is a level 1 target for 1-for-1, which is basically full combo. We then play a single copy of Harmonic Synchro Fusion. This card is a polymerization, but insane. This card has the ability that you send a tuner and a non-tuner monster from face up from your side of the field to the graveyard to special summon both of the following of a synchro monster that can be synchro summoned using those 2 monsters, and a fusion monster that can be fusion summoned using those 2 monsters, meaning we not only fusion summon, but we also synchro summon at the exact same time using the same monsters, which is absolutely crazy. This card is absolutely broken, so cool to be able to play, and searchable off our copy of Linewalker, which is really, really good. We then play a single copy of Earthbound Prison. This is our field spell that we use all the time in the deck, but you only need a single copy of this card because it's so easy to get to. And this card is the ability, when this card is activated, you can target an effect monster that your opponent controls, and this card gains this ability that while this card is in the field zone, negate the effects of that face-up effect monster while this card's on the field. And also during your main phase, you can normal summon 1 Earthbound monster in addition to your normal summoner set, which is a great ability just to be able to use with this card. I love that this card just gives you that additional normal summon because it's such a cool ability to be able to just instantly summon out another Earthbound Immortal to your side of the field. And if this card is in your possession, is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, and you have an Earthbound monster on your side of the field in the graveyard, half your opponent's life points, and if you do, negate the effects of all face-up cards that your opponent currently controls until the end of the turn, which is a crazy powerful effect because your opponent's never going to want to deal with this card, which is absolutely amazing, so we get to keep our Earthbound Immortal on our side of the field. It's crazy this card gives you a normal summon of any Earthbound monster, which is just really, really cool. We then play a single copy of Crimson Gaia. Crimson Gaia is a good 1-of in the deck to be able to use their copy of our Vision Resonator, and this card is Rhoda for Vision Resonator, which is just really nice. Plus we play Red Dragon Archfiend in the extract because it's a really good card to be able to synchro summon into this deck, so it gets its bonus effects off this card's ability. We then play a single copy of Crossout Designator. Crossout Designator is really good as a 1-of just to stop your opponent from hand trapping you while you're going in for all of your plays. We then also play 2 copies of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is definitely a 2-of to again stop your opponent from hand trapping you while you're going in for all of your plays. We then play 2 copies of E-Telly. E-Telly is currently at 2 in Master Duel, so we can only play 2 copies of this card, but it's really good in the deck to be able to summon out your copy of your Sire Reflector to your side of the field to get into the Assault Mode package. We then play 3 copies of Earthbound Fusion. Earthbound Fusion is a crazy powerful 3-of in the deck that has the ability that you can only activate this card during the main phase unless a card is in the field spell zone, and it lets you fusion summon a Dark Fusion monster from your extract using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. And during your main phase, if there's a card in the field spell zone, you can actually banish this card from the graveyard to special summon an Earthbound monster from your hand or graveyard. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extract for the rest of the turn except fusion or synchro monsters, which is not that big of a deal because that's all we're summoning anyways. But this card is really powerful as a combo piece to help us fusion summon into the exact card that we need, and it's a really good 3-of in the deck. So That's it for these spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're going to be playing a single copy of Assault Mode Activate. We're never activating this card because we're just using this card in our hand to reveal for the copy of Reflector to make its effect go off, which is kind of ironic because it has Activate in the name. We're never actually activating this card. You always keep it in your hand just to reveal off the copy of your Reflector to be able to get its effect off to summon Assault Beast back from the graveyard. So this card is just a good one-of in the deck. It's a little bit of a brick, but you're just playing it for the Assault Mode package. We then play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Infinite Impermanence is really good as a 3-up, just to stop your opponent's monster effects and also lock down entire columns of spells and traps. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, guys, we're going to start off with a single copy of Earthbound Servant, Yugioh. This card is a crazy powerful card that requires an Earthbound Fusion monster plus an Earthbound Synchro monster to make this card. And it must be Fusion Summoned, and at the start of the damage step, if this card battles a monster, change that monster's attack points to 0. And if a monster in your opponent's possession is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can destroy all cards that your opponent controls, which is an amazing ability for this card to have, to be just a board wipe, and going to do also 3,000 burn damage. Usually when you summon this card out to your side of the field, you're gonna win the game. We then play a single copy of Geokraken. Geokraken is also a good 1-of in the deck, but you only need a single copy of this card. If this card is special summoned, you can add a field spell from your deck or graveyard to your hand, which is going to be Earthbound Prison. And if a monster is special summoned from your opponent's extra deck, except during the damage step, you can destroy as many monsters your opponent controls as possible that were special summoned this turn, and if you do, inflict 800 points of damage to your opponent for each monster destroyed, which is an amazing ability. We then play a single copy of Geo Grimlina. Geo Grimlina is a good 1-of in the deck. As if this card is special summoned, it lets you add an Earthbound monster from your deck to your hand, which can be our copy of Greater Linewalker, which is an amazing, and it's why we only play a single copy of Greater Linewalker, is because you can actually search it off this card so we can get into our Earthbound Immortal plays. But this card is really good in the deck. You can also target a Dark Singer monster you control, and it can attack directly this turn, which is an amazing effect. And if a monster that your opponent controls is destroyed by an Earthbound card effect, you can actually target one of those destroyed monsters and inflict damage to your opponent equal to that destroyed monster's original attack, which is a really cool effect. We then also play a single copy of the Grapha Fusion because this card is basically a walking negate, changing the ability of a card to your opponent discard to card, which is amazing to be able to do. And we're always going to be fusion summoning into this card using our copy of our Muddy Mud Dragon. Because we don't actually play Grapha in the main deck, we're going to use this card as a fusion substitute to be able to make it on our side of the field, which is an extremely important thing about this card. But this card is amazing as it comes out at 3,200. We then play a single copy of Baron de Fleur. Baron is just really good because this card is a walking negate and one of the most powerful synchro monsters ever created. Play a single copy of the Vermilion Dragon Mech. This card is really good as a level 9 to be able to summon out to your side of the field. And once per turn, you can banish a tuner from your hand, graveyard, or face it from field, target a card on the field and destroy it, which is just a really good card to be able to pop cards on the field. We can also play a single copy of Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. Abyss is just a walking negate, which is why we play this card as a 1-of in the build, plus it's very easy to go in for level 9s. We play a single copy of Scarred Dragon Archfiend. Scarred Dragon Archfiend is a really good stepping stone in the deck, because this card's ability becomes Red Dragon Archfiend while in the field or in the grave, and if this card is sent from the monster zone to the graveyard, you can special summon a Red Dragon Archfiend from your extract that's treated as a synchro summon. Then if this card was sent to the graveyard as a synchro material for a Dark Dragon synchro monster, which it always will, you can destroy all attack position monsters your opponent controls, making it so we can OTK. And then play a single copy of Red Dragon Archfiend to be able to summon off our copy of Scarred Dragon Archfiend's ability. We then play a single copy of Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon, because this card is just amazing to help us synchro climb in the build, and I absolutely love this card in the deck. We then play 2 copies of Geo Griffin. Geo Griffin is a really good combo piece in the deck. It does a bit of quick effect, special summon an Earthbound monster from your graveyard in defense position, except another copy of this card, which is an amazing ability to be able to just combo back one of your cards to your side of the field. This card is a really good 2-of in the deck, because if this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can destroy a card in the field and then inflict 300 points of damage to your opponent for each Earthbound monster with a different name in your field or in your graveyard, which is a really cool ability. ability. We then play a single copy of Black Rose Dragon. I know we're playing 3 different Signer Dragons in the deck between Stardust Dragon, Red Dragon Archfiend, and Black Rose. And Black Rose is just really good in the deck overall as a board wipe. We then play a single copy of Yugioh Gremlin. Yugioh Gremlin is great in the deck as one of as well because this card has the ability during your main phase. Quick effect, you can target a face of monster your opponent controls, and your opponent chooses one of these effects to apply to either destroy the monster or you gain life points equal to the monster's attack, which is a pretty cool ability just in case you need some life points. And then during the battle phase, quick effect, you get to fusion summon a Earthbound fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing materials from your hand, field, and your graveyard, which is usually how I make the copy of my Yugioh Gremlin. We then play a single copy of Muddy Mud Dragon. Muddy Mud Dragon is an amazing combo piece in the deck to help us make the Graph of Fusion, but not only that, help us get a synchro monster into the graveyard for a copy of our Greater Linewalker's ability to search out an Earthbound Immortal, which is so cool about this card. This card is amazing in the deck as a 1-up and probably one of the most powerful synchro monsters in the entire build. So, that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoy it. This deck is super fun to be able to play. I absolutely love this deck because it's so fun, and I really love playing Earthbound. It's really cool that you can actually play Earthbound Immortals in this deck, and you can basically play any Earthbound Immortal that you want in place of Chaka Chalua, which is really, really cool. I do recommend the Giant, which is Kokapakapu or Uru, because those monsters are 3,000 and can swing directly to end the game off of Greater Linewalker's ability. I just really like Chaka Chalua. So, that's going to do for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.